Hi guys, welcome to another Wild Walk with Neil, Tuesday the 8th of February. Today we're at Fleetwood Nature Reserve, just past the tip site on Jameson Road. We're going to go for a walk around the nature reserve, take in the lake, see if we can see any wildlife. Then we'll drop down onto the estuary before the tide floods it. We'll have a wander down there, see if we can take in some of the shipwrecks. Then we'll go around to Tiger's Tail, take in the quay. It's a nice day for a nice walk. Bit drizzly, but you know, let's go for it. So we're just at the entrance of the nature reserve. Let's have a quick wander around. See the wind turbine there. Absolutely massive when you get underneath it. Blowing slow today. Like I say, there's not much wind, it's just a bit drizzly. Nice seating area there that's obviously been kicked apart by the local idiots. But you know, can't have it all, can we? So, just see the lake, first lake. This lake and the lake to the right that I'm about to show you in a second isn't for the public, completely fenced off, no one's allowed near it for obvious reasons, to protect the wildlife. Got the dock in the background there as well, the new housing estate of the lake. It's basically just full of gulls, what I can see. You do get quite a lot of migratory birds here though as well, Twitchers tell me. So this is the pathway to the bridge, which has a lake on the left hand side of it and a lake on the right hand side of it, which we'll see at the moment. You don't have to take this way in. There's a pathway that leads along that fence line there. So that's the pathway down to the bridge. Lake on the left, lake on the right, and that's the bridge you can see. We're going to actually walk around the lake today and see what we can see on the other side. So on the lake to the right, loads of bird life to be honest. I can see tufted ducks, swans, moor hens, mallards, the odd tern. Swans are stunning, aren't they? Absolutely stunning. We're at the opposite side of the nature reserve, looking out onto the estuary. Over the far side is Overwire, Knot End, Hambleton, stuff like that. Right down there in the misty, murky distance is where we were on our first walk, Burglar's Alley. You can't see much today, but we're going to make our way down there to see the shipwrecks in the distance, and we'll walk beyond that point to Tiger's Tail, which is right round the other end. So we're coming to the end of the nature reserve path. Let's have one quick last look back at it. And I've got to admit that for a nature reserve there's not much nature, and it's not much of a nature reserve really, it's just a glorified dog walkers park. If it was a nature reserve, all this grassland area would be wooded, there'd be trees, there'd be plants, it wouldn't be dead. I mean, let's be honest, in summer it only grows a foot high. But anyway, that's the nature reserve done. Let's drop down onto the estuary and take in them shipwrecks. As you can see, it is very, very muddy. It's nice and quiet out here, which is good. It's 3 main shipwrecks. So we're a bit closer now, and as you can see, It's absolutely littered with old shipwrecks. Very muddy. Excuse the squelching. Don't know how long they've been here, but they've been here a long time. As you can see, that's full of water. No wonder it's a wreck. So that is basically the shipwrecks. Like I said before, over the other side, Ambleton, over Wire, Knot End. You might be able to see a few of the boats that are moored down here. So that's the shipwrecks taken in. We're now going to walk down that path towards that edge line, and we're going to walk that edge line all the way around and keep going round to Tiger's Tail, which is there, where that shipwreck is in the distance. And then we'll sit and have a breather and think about walking back. So there is a slight pathway that leads down. It's only thin, but it's a pathway. So we're basically just going to follow this all the way around until we get to Tiger's Tail. So we're just coming to final destination now. Tiger's Tail. I don't think that's supposed to be part there. Another big shipwreck. Bit of rain on the lens there. So where I'm stood now is locally known as Tiger's Tail. You can see the quay there, the old P&O site over the far side. This little slip here is the way in. Loads of old boats down there. We'll take them in on the way back. And basically it's the gateway to the marina and the old Freeport or Affinity site. One thing I did forget to mention is that it's a brilliant foraging site, this on here. This that we're looking at now is samphire. Quite an expensive herb in the shops, but as far as the eye can see, all died off and unpicked. Me and the missus took a bit this year. There's also sea kale out there as well. So if you're into your foraging, it's definitely worth a look. So we're walking back now from Tiger's Tail, and to the right hand side of us, obviously we've got the old P&O site there, but we're now at the quay. See all the old shipwrecks, all the old disused boats. As far as I'm aware, I've just been left there to rot. Shame really. And some of the more usable boats that the blokes used to go out fishing. Big heron just taken off there. There it goes. That was the quay, tiger's tail, shipwrecks. I'm going to start walking back now as it's getting a bit wet, as you might be able to tell by the colour of my jacket. Following the footpath now, all the way back from the quay, back to where we started basically. Housing estate on your right. That's where we've just been. Shipwrecks down there to the left, and up ahead of us is the gate for the nature reserve. Paused because spotted a robin in the tree to the left of us. Well, that lasted long. Nice to see that someone's actually taking the time to put a nice little seating area in there. A lovely view. Obviously not the best view today, but on a summer's day, or even in a clear morning, the sunrise off there is absolutely stunning. Take a moment to remember and give thanks to the NHS and key workers during the pandemic 2020-2021. I echo that. So here we are again, back at the nature reserve. I think this time we'll go across the bridge and in between the two small ponds, see if there's anything there worth looking at. Right, so this is the bridge between the two ponds. Let's go and have a look. Mallards, moorhens. Look at the right hand side of the lake. I think that's a shoveler. I might be wrong. So called by the shape of his beak. There's some tufted ducks out there. As you can see, back tuft on back of its head. There's a shoveler. Better look at that shoveler. Shoveler and a tufted. So basically guys, that completes the walk. Nature reserve, shipwrecks, tiger's tail, quay, back to the nature reserve and back home. Hope you enjoyed it. Another wild walk with Neil. If you did, subscribe to the page, like the video and share it. That's all I ask. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching.